Welcome, everybody. I'm Ethan Imhoff. I'm the host of the Alleghenies Ahead Podcast, and we wanted to do an introductory session to explain a little bit about the project, provide some background, and let our listeners know what they can expect to hear about and learn about during the podcast. So, Alleghenies Ahead goes back to 2014, when 6 counties in south central Pennsylvania decided that their comprehensive plans were out of date and needed to be updated. Now, those counties are the counties of Cambria, Somerset, Blair, Bedford, Fulton, and Huntingdon. And so those 6 counties decided to embark upon something that had never been done before in Pennsylvania. 6 counties had never done a comprehensive plan as a region. So there was no template. There was no easy way to say, hey, here's what you do. So it was a learning process, and you're going to hear about a lot of what went into the process over the past 5 years. So going back to 2014, the commissioners of each of the 6 counties decided that this was going to be a good idea, and for a couple reasons. One, by the 6 counties pooling their resources and amplifying their voices together, they're able to get a lot more accomplished versus doing an individual comprehensive plan. And also, they're able to save a little bit of money. Comprehensive plans don't come cheap, and so by pooling their resources, the state was encouraging this. And so half of the planning process, half of the cost was paid for by the State Community Department of Economic Development. So after the commissioners made the decision to embark upon this process, the first thing that was done was for each county to form a steering committee. And the steering committee was comprised of local government officials, business owners, folks in the nonprofit sector, folks from academic institutions like this. The steering committees were charged with developing priorities and then action plans around those priorities. So throughout 2016 and 2017, the steering committees, which comprised of dozens of people from throughout the region, came together and determined and developed this plan. They determined what the priorities were for this region. What matters? What are the issues that we really need to work on in the Southern Alleghenies region? And there's 8 issues, priorities that are going to form the core of this podcast. And so we're going to talk about each one of those priorities and dedicate specific episodes to talking about people who are doing some really positive things around these issues. And that was really a point of emphasis for this podcast. And one of the reasons we wanted to do the podcast was that a lot of these issues are complex and they take a little bit of time to talk about, and they can't be covered in a 30-minute TV segment or a newspaper article. So we wanted to have a little bit of time to delve into each of these issues and then promote and market a lot of the positive things that people in our region are doing to have an impact on our communities. So that's going to be the emphasis. That's going to be the meat of this podcast, is talking to people in our communities. These are going to be people that you know or have maybe heard about, and we're going to hear about the things that they're doing, and we're going to tell the story of how these things came to be. So we're going to do this over 12 episodes to get started, and then we'll see if things go well. We may keep the podcast going, but we're committed to 12 episodes around the priorities in the Alleghenies Ahead plan, and we're certainly very much looking forward to it. We thank Mount Aloysius College. They're the host of our podcast. They have this great recording studio here, so we appreciate the partnership with them to help us out with the technical side of this, but we hope you'll join us. There'll be interactive components to this. We're going to have a website where you can offer comments or provide feedback, and more importantly, perhaps get involved in some of the initiatives that are going on. A lot of these initiatives do depend on people power. So there will certainly be opportunities for you to get involved with some of the projects that are going on. So again, thank you to Mount Aloysius, and we hope to talk to you more soon here. Thank you.